6. She strolls back into work. Nobody noticed that she was gone, but nobody ever does. She makes a plan. Build a nest by the customer service terminals in the back of the ground floor. Eat half of this bagel, help anybody who asks for it, wrap up that bagel, and then go see if any interesting review books have come in. Cool things have probably come out since last time she checked, maybe a week ago. She has so goddamn many books. So Maria sets up shop at a computer terminal. It is exactly everything everybody complains about when they work retail for the next half hour. People are rude. People are confused. People want her to figure out what they want from them. Whatever. She munches away. This actually doesn't bother her. Maria's retail persona is impressively unbitter. She's watched people burnt out on retail be jerks to the public for a long time at the store, and it's pretty gross. Plus, this is Manhattan. Everyone is an asshole. For a while, Maria got into the revolutionary potential of being nice, but she's kind of over that too now, and gets pretty zen about it. Mindful. Being a dick to people who aren't being dicks first just leaves her feeling like a dick, which is a shitty feeling, so she's pretty nice. It is a bookstore, though, so she gets like, I am looking for this book. It has a blue cover. A lot. It's supposed to be the worst annoying thing you can ask a bookseller, but she's into it. People always think they know less than they actually do about a book. She can usually draw it out of them and figure it out. When did you see it? When did you hear about it? Is it a happy book? These conversations can almost feel like a moment of actual human connection, except it's basically a one-direction connection. Maybe in another life, Maria will be a therapist or a social worker or something. In the middle of helping a customer figure out that she's looking for Amy Hemphill, who rules, Maria realizes that she doesn't know if she's sleeping at home tonight or if Steph is or what. She makes a mental note to call Steph. All day, though, she keeps forgetting to. By the end of the night, she just wants to go home, but it's not really clear whether she can. Everybody's leaving to get wasted at the bar on St. Mark's with the cheap pitchers, which is always an option, but Maria is exhausted and not really into that idea. She's on the sidewalk outside the closed bookstore and finally taking her phone from her bag when Kieran bumps into her. My eyes are glaring cunts, he pretty much yells. My cunt a furious eye. It's a stupid ongoing joke. Kieran heard that Maria liked Kathy Acker, so he started doing shitty Kathy Acker impressions at her, and normally she responds with shitty impressions of James Joyce, who Kieran is really into. She's supposed to say, yes, I say, maybe whatever, yes, sure, fine, yes, whatever, sure. But right now, it's not like she even wants to talk to him. It's stupid anyways. He is supposed to be this end of gender, tough punk, genderqueer radical, but it's not like James Joyce was working to undermine patriarchy. Kieran will talk about all the reasons that yes, Joyce was working to undermine patriarchy, but the actual answer was no. James Joyce was a patriarchal fuck, and dead white man worship is a function of patriarchy. But fuck that conversation right now. Maria ignores him. Maybe he doesn't know that Steph told Maria they're fucking. She swings her heavy chain link bike lock around her waist, locks it, climbs onto her bike, and then rides into the street. She heads in the direction opposite her house toward Midtown Manhattan. Obviously, you can't ride all night instead of going home. You'll get tired and bored, and obviously there's work in the morning, but she decides to ride for a while. One nice thing is that her phone's in her bag, which means if Steph calls, she won't hear it. She's kind of aware that she's making herself the bad guy here, that she's kind of acting like an asshole. Whatever, yes, sure, fine, yes, whatever, fine, sure, who cares? She rides uptown, riding a bike in most of Manhattan at night totally rules, but riding through Midtown is awful 24 hours a day. It's practically impossible unless you are trying to get bruised on a bumper. Which is a mood she's in sometimes. A mood she might be in now, actually. Even on a Sunday night, like tonight, it's pretty gnarly. It's all hills and gridlocked 18-wheelers, buses, and cabs, so you have to cut between cars. That's the best, cutting between cars. She pumps her legs up a hill, and they start to hurt. She puts a hand out and thumbs a taxi side mirror. This could be the beginning of an all-night odyssey like Eyes Wide Shut or something, but she's over a hill, her bike is coasting downhill, and she's climbing another hill. Her legs protest, so she pulls over onto the sidewalk. A movie is actually a really good idea. It's an exhilarating feeling when you're so used to not being able to sleep to decide ahead of time not to sleep. Like, it will feel really bad when you finally get properly exhausted, which will happen unromantically soon. But right now, Maria is stoked. She walks her bike 2 blocks just off the sidewalk in the street so she can self-righteously hog half a lane and then get into the way of cars to a theater where there's a movie playing with a monster in it. She buys a ticket, almost goes in, has the best idea, turns around, finds a bodega, buys a 40, stuffs it in her bag, goes into the theater. She can't really drink 40s anymore. Her 29-year-old sad wait, her 29-year-old sad old lady belly can't handle it. But sneaking a beer into a movie is the point, not the actual drinking. Maria sits in the middle 3 rows from the front. There are like 2 other people in the theater because nobody sees monster movies on Sunday nights. She's been in this theater before. She saw some other stupid movie with some other stupid monster in it. Some other time that she was all emotionally distressed and having like a timeout from her normal life. That time the movie had been a matinee, and afterwards she decided to sneak into a different theater and see a different movie. But then she completely chickened out when she saw a single usher. That stereotype about transsexuals being all wild and criminal and bold and outside the norm and like engendering in the townsfolk the courage to break free from the smothering constraints of conformity. That stereotype is about drag queens. Maria is transsexual and she is so meek she might disappear. She does sneak a 40 into movies though. It ends up being a kind of stupid movie, but when we go to see monster movies, we are looking for stupid. There are a lot of explosions, the monster is gross, and the plot goes like this. For 15 minutes, you're introduced to the characters and you think, I fucking hate these yuppies. I wish a monster would kill them. And then for an hour and 15 more minutes, the monster takes its time killing them. It's an annoying, predictable cliche, but Maria always sympathized with the monster. If you had a conversation with her about it, though, and you implied that there were very obvious reasons she would flip out on you. This is not the kind of insight in which she is interested. Anyway, it's late. It's like 1 a.m. by the time she gets out of the movies. Bars close at 4, and bookstore people are certainly still drinking, but Maria is starting to feel foreshadowing in her shoulder muscles about what tomorrow is going to feel like if she doesn't get at least a little sleep. So, a compromise. She buys a $5 bottle of poisonous whiskey at a little hole-in-the-wall liquor store. She sips it on her way home, gloves with cut-off fingertips, riding past the cheap bar on St. Mark's, and riding past the cheap bar on St. Mark's, the permanent traffic clusterfuck at Bowery and Delancey, the Williamsburg Bridge, a navy blue sky without stars, and a beer buzz before she even started drinking whiskey. She doesn't call Steph. She doesn't even check her phone. It's like how if you don't open an official-looking envelope, it can't do anything bad to you. Plus, who knows where the phone even is in her bag. Plus, it's cold. Plus, right now she's way too busy looking picturesque, like Batman in his little alcove in the middle of the top of the Williamsburg Bridge, drinking her whiskey and looking at the buildings on the Manhattan side, the Brooklyn side, the Manhattan side. Which is worse? She can't decide. She likes the metal of she likes the metal the bridge is made of, though. These enormous exposed rivets, this net-looking fence that you can't hurl yourself into the river. It strikes her that she probably kind of hates everything. She picks a fight with herself. Things she doesn't hate, trans women who just have figured out that they are going to need to transition but don't know what to do about it. So they're super nervous and also kind of relieved. She doesn't hate trans guys who are working on the fact that they've acquired male privilege outside the queer community, but in also a weird way inside the queer community, especially in the way that their presence tends to eclipse or eliminate or invalidate that kind of trans women. So they're working on it and starting conversations about it, but being accountable to trans women. She doesn't hate puppies. Pretty much everything on cuteoverload.com is pretty okay, actually. A hitch on a hitch in her throat tells her to stop being all romantic and weird and and getting thrashed. Batman or getting trashed Batman. So she I'll just repeat that paragraph again. A hitch in her throat tells her to stop being all romantic and weird and getting trashed Batman. So she starts writing again, more or less free falling down the other side of the bridge, thinking about cuteoverload.com. That video where the baby panda sneezes. There are probably other things she doesn't hate. Feminist theory, she proposes. I guess I don't hate feminist theory. She doesn't hate having a favorite obscure band that she keeps a secret and doesn't tell anybody about because sharing it would also ruin it. That one is kind of nice. She doesn't hate Piranha. She definitely doesn't hate Piranha, the one trans friend who doesn't drive her up the fucking wall. Fuck, she's owed Piranha a phone call for like 3 days. She probably doesn't even hate Steph. Like, as a couple, they are fucked. And obviously Maria sucks at changing the things in her life that she really needs to change, such as she totally needs to break up with Steph. But for real though, Steph rules. She and Kieran, that sort of thing kind of happens sometimes, especially in a queer relationship, right? And it's not like Maria ever fucked Kieran while she was with Steph. She forgot that she was making a list. She takes a little flask out of the bag and lifts it to the night. There's only about a quarter left, she thinks. Wow, I am pretty lucid for a 40 and 600 milliliters of whiskey. And she thinks, what was I thinking about? A list? And then she's at the bottom of the bridge, waiting at the weird turny corner light. Oh, Williamsburg. There was a point when you seemed like a scary, tough neighborhood, but now it's obvious the graffiti on your walls gets put there by art students.